All right. Hello, everyone. Awesome. Thank you. Can you hear me? Everybody good? Welcome to the show. As I was about to say, the first thing I want to let everyone know is that I might be having technical difficulties because we're having the snow of the century in Northern California. You probably have read the messages or read the news and seen that our atmospheric rivers are nonstop and they keep dumping snow, and it's ridiculous. But anyway, so hopefully that doesn't become a huge issue. I am DungeonMisterTy, and I'm super excited to bring Nuovarden to the channel once again. If you've been here before, you may have seen the game, but if not, you can join my awesome cast in playing and learning about it for the first time. Let's see. I do want to mention one thing, and then we'll do more housekeeping stuff later. If you are interested in what we're doing here and you want to jump over to adventureslang.com and follow us for updates on Nuovarden and what we've got going on, we will give you digital assets just for signing up. Thank you, character tokens, and digital assets in the form of our weapons and tools as Hack 1 just for signing up. That's all you ever have to do. Sign up and be our friend. Otherwise, let's hear from our players, and I'm going to go around the table, and I'll call on each of you as I see you on my screen. Please tell us about you, who you are and about your character who you're playing tonight. And let's start with Steph.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. It's my second game with Guild Superior. I was previously in the Racing game, and usually I can be found over at the Live from the Apocalypse channel in Discord. And tonight I will be playing an Asgul named Arithne. She is an older sister and is on her first adventure, so she's hoping to be successful in her journeys.
Wonderful. Can you tell us what Arithne's discipline is, what it is that she's specialized in?
Her discipline is song, so she's very creative, mainly musical based. She wears, she has these jewelry pieces that also act as sort of wind instruments. So when she moves, the movement creates the sound and the music from her bracelets.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. And in light of that, let's jump over to Deb. If you would please also introduce your character and yourself.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Deb. This is also my second game with Guild Superior. I was previously on the Monday Night Mayhem Humblewood game, which was great, and I'm thrilled to be back and excited to explore the world of Nuovarden. I'm playing Inazi. She's also an Asgal and is Arithne's younger sister. Inazi also has song as her discipline as an Asgal. And she is a little bit more reckless. She is really excited to go out and explore the new world and figure out who she is and what she wants to be. And she is ready to go and get into some trouble.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. The Asgal sisters on the road for their first world tour. So nice to have you. Let us then go down to Ian. If you would please tell us who you are and who you are playing.
Hey, yeah. So I'm Ian, and I'm going to be playing Melosi, the Landplok, and more specifically from the Yalnak clan. And their discipline is body. So there's going to be a lot of picking things up and putting them down and throwing things across other places and ways. So very excited to play that, and that's pretty much it about him. Like, he has one main focus, and that comes from years of whatever you want to call it, training is what we would say. But yeah, it's gonna be super fun.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And last but not least, Kevin, who are you and who are you playing?
Yes, hi, I'm Kevin, and I'm found online at Kevran Games. I have been on some other SAG stuff before. I'm thrilled to be back. Tonight I'm playing Kaban Moss, who is a member of the Lenai race. He is specifically I should say, because they are an androgynous people that do not have genders. They are naturally elemental transmutators. They are able to channel different elements and affect the world around them, which brings a lot of chaos and a lot of fun to their friends and family. He is a small figure who is about 3 feet tall and has different scintillating colors about his person, as we will see as we commence into the game. But yeah, hopefully he'll be the fun little brother type character of the group. So thanks for having us here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And those are our players and characters. Again, I am the seer, DungeonMisterTy. Nuovarden is a unique setting. It's a non-medieval fantasy setting that is 100 years, takes place 100 years after the emergence, which was a major paradigm shift in the world, when the manifestation energy brought over by a culture known as the Starnum was taken away by the land and redistributed throughout the garden, creating this emergence event. And when that happened, the light source in the world, which was an ever-burning sky crystal, cracked. And when it cracked, twilight fell, and the need for rest among the Starnum and the Landplaque, who were the original people here by themselves. In the interim, these other people manifested to being, taking on other aspects of reality, of the world and the garden itself. And when the Landplaque and Starnum came to the next day, these other people were there. The Asgal, the Wotan, the Ixia, and more, the Lenai. As these people began to interact with each other and get to know what was going on a little bit and realize that the world had changed, they also realized they knew nothing now about what their environment was like. And so the main purpose, the main goal for most individuals in this world is to go out and explore and to gather information and to learn new things about the environment, to take them home or to use them for their own purposes. Each culture and each individual has their own reason for doing these things. And we will see some of that information come to light as we learn about these characters and the things that they encounter. So I will reiterate that this is a new game for the players. So we're going to treat this like a learning opportunity as much as the fluid role play that we might be better at with more familiar systems. But once we're all familiar with the system, then it becomes our favorite, and that's all that we play. So without further ado, let's get into the story. Players. Typically, when you get together and you meet new allies, you gather at what's called a range camp. And you have done this before. I believe, as we discussed in the past, ahead of time, your characters know each other either because you're related, in the instance of or because now you've been traveling a little bit of time together. As you are traveling through the world, maybe give us a little physical description of each of you. What do you look like? What are you carrying? What are some significant details about your character that help you stand out and are perhaps very symbolic or important to you? And if anyone wants to jump in, I will turn the table over to the players and let you start getting comfortable working together as a collaborative team. So somebody go ahead and start us off.
All right. So Kaban Moss, he is the smallest of the group. He is, as I previously mentioned, they are 3 feet tall, about 20 pounds, very lithe, very small, and they have features that are very plain but somewhat colorful. Their base color is a cool, pale, bluish gray, but then there are different striations. It almost looks like you could imagine the different striations and cleavages in a rock, how there's those lines from rock from the sediment over the years, and they are different colors on their body: blues and greens, reds, oranges, all the different kinds of colors. Their eyes have a iris that seems to sparkle a little bit and has a little bit of a gesturing, a prismatic effect that kind of changes based on their mood. And as they move around, they're very energetic, very excited. They don't wear any clothing other than the fact that they have a very noticeable stone hanging on a leather strap around their neck and a satchel. And They bound in around the area, take a look at the place around, and looks back. Come on, guys, catch up. Let's go. Come on. And waves for his companions to catch up.
I think Arithne would be following fairly close behind because she's used to being the more responsible older sister. So she's trying to keep her eye on things, looking out for any danger. She's about 5'3", 75 pounds. She is pale white because she's covered with a fine downy white fur, blue eyes, and with the Asgal, they dye their skin. So she has these purple patterns along her arms and legs and this blue dusting along her shoulder, and she has these sort of like bands, blue bands painted around her head. She wears her wind bracers up high, but they can be moved around as needed. She carries with her a walking stick. She's barefoot because the Asgal don't really wear shoes in their village, and it's what she's used to. And being that it's her first time out of the village, and they're a very garden-based community. As a weapon, she has a hand sickle with her because when they're harvesting and they are using that to cut down the plants, so it's like she's used to it. It's something. It's better than nothing. So she has that prepared just in case. She is not a fighter though, so she's hoping it's all going smoothly.
Inazi looks pretty similar to Arithne, but she is interested in some of the other cultures, and so she has sort of styled herself after the Lenai people. All of the things that she wears are they represent elements, and so her clothing is all sort of like fiery hues, fire and earth, so oranges and browns, and then the patterns on her skin are kind of wavy, so they represent wind and water. And she really likes the sort of chaotic energy of the Lenai people and tries to emulate it a little bit. So she's kind of all over the place, and she wanders off for a little bit and then gets herded back by Arithne and the others, and just sort of is very distractible.
And I guess in good personality fashion, Melosi's in the back, kind of just making sure everything's okay. You can see everyone's just kind of bouncing around and doing their thing, and he's just pretty quiet. He's your standard 6'6" for a Lomplok, and very broad shoulders, not too built because of course he wants to be a little bit more dexterous when he can. I think the most noticeable thing about him is that across his shoulders and the sides of his chest, there are very intricate markings that are structured there. And from a distance, you definitely think that, oh, this person has good art, good tattoos. But the closer you get, you realize that it's actually scarifications that adorn his body from when he was younger and his rite of passage, so to say, which the trophy for that is adorned on his arms in leather braces that have groff claws just embedded into them as if they were just like bone brass knuckles for him from his first kill to when his rite of passage was ensued. And again, he's just not really stumbling, but just trudging behind the troop.
Wonderful. And for everyone's knowledge, the Groff is a medium-sized bear-type creature. Think of it a bear-fox kind of mashup, if you will. They are not a gigantic creature, but they are large and fairly powerful. And for Melosi, they are very symbolic. So, very well. So you are now traveling together throughout the world and attempting to discover your next find. Now, I will share with the group as well that this world is a harvestable world. If there's something that you want to look for in terms of medicine, food, things like that, that's certainly something that you can decide to do. Be aware of that. Also, things that you discover or can take from a kill, for example, can be harvested, and they are tradable. So we have a barter system in this world rather than coin. There's no coinage. It's much more of a natural ecosystem, and there are civilizations or settlements, and they are growing, but the monetary system is still barter and trade. Let me give you a little narrative here. After spending 2 full days traveling, you spy activity ahead and, hoping to find a range camp, approach the site with anticipation. As you arrive within clear sight, however, you discover a Wotan harvesting crew. Let me explain what a Wotan is. For those who don't know, Wotan are one of the cultures in the land that appeared after the emergence, and they literally appeared in the workshops of the land plaque. They're something of a construct, even though they are organic. They have wood and stone frames embellished with metal. The primary metal is bronze and copper. And they typically wear some sort of faceplate over their head that gives them their best impression of what humanoid looks like. They're trying to fit in. The thing about the Wotan is, when the land plaque awoke and found the Wotan in their workshops, it was really hard for them to process. They're so uncanny. And so a lot of land plaque eventually left their villages and united with other land plaque families for some security and stability, and left the other villages to the Wotan, who eventually oftentimes left those as well and went elsewhere to work on the Great Tower, which is part of their faith. So a lot of those old villages now are in ruins, and who knows what's there. Sometimes the Wotan stayed there and reinforced them and are still operating there. Here you find this variety of these people working in this camp. Wotan have 1 to 4 legs. They have 1 to 4 arms. They swivel. They've got 3 appendages phalanges on their wrists that are also on a ball that is affixed to the arm. So they have a very sort of robotic feel to them, but they're just literally the technology people of the world now. As I said, they'll wear a plate, often of bronze or copper, over their head, and it gives them some semblance of face, and then their voice just emanates. There's no moving mouth on that plate. So again, kind of uncanny for a lot of other people. However, they do roam around and they harvest from the land and they gather raw supplies so that they can take them back to the tower. It's a great honor to bring supplies back to the tower, because then it gives you more time to work on the tower. And they just build and build and build. And the tower itself is reputed to be far north from where you're at right now. But that gives you a bit of background on who they are. The camp consists of stacks of felled trees, piles of excavated stone, and temporary shelters. A gore corral houses half a dozen of the massive beasts, and empty wagons stand ready for loading. Now, a gore is essentially a bovine-type creature. They stand 10 to 12 feet tall, and they're massive. They roam in herds across the open grasslands, and they're hunted. They're also domesticated as beasts of burden and kind of ranch or farm type animals. Domesticated gore oftentimes have a braided cord that hangs down from up by their head for the rider to be able to climb up to get on top of them to ride them. Otherwise, they pull wagons and they're a bit more plodding. But if they get riled up, they can become very dangerous, as you can imagine. A massive beast like that can trample, and they have a massive horn off the face, something like think of a rhinoceros horn. They also have humps on their backs where they store fat and water. And so just an all-around common creature in the world. Obviously, the Wotan are using them as beasts of burden and have them corralled. So you have these massive animals, about half a dozen of them in this massive corral, and you see that as well. It appears, however, that the work is far from complete. Dozens of Wotan busy themselves with all sort of cutting, hewing, stacking, and other tasks, hardly seeming to notice your arrival. So you can tell me now if there's anything in particular you want to do as you approach this this camp. It is entirely possible the Wotan, because they are technology oriented, also have supplies, so they wouldn't be too surprised if explorers stopped by. And they are not typically, there's no culture that is just as a standard hostile. All cultures are respectful towards each other in general.
How far away are
So
we from the
please.
range camp?
You figure you probably can see it a good half to quarter mile away.
Oh, okay.
So call it quarter mile.
Well, these guys here mean some business. Do we have anything we want to trade?
Yeah, how are we on food?
Checking my satchel. Well, I have my rations. Probably last me about 4 days.
Yeah, we have a few days rations. Not much, depending on how much further this takes us.
I mean,
Is
I don't really
there-
need anything, but it might be fun just to meet some new people and talk to them.
Yeah, I've never really encountered much of the Wotans, so that would be pretty neat.
Very exciting.
Do we see anybody within that camp that looks like they're the foreman or something along those lines?
So the interesting thing, the little bit that you might know about the Wotan is that they are very hive-minded, and they talk funny. They refer to themselves in plural and singular as this one and these very often, and they have roles. Sometimes they take a bit more of a leadership role, but for outside individuals, it takes a little bit of navigating once you're in their midst to figure out who might be the spokesperson. And sometimes it's just one among a group in that area. So that's the long answer to yes, but
It's not specific, like the guy wearing the green hat. That's the foreman. It's more so like it could be any of these group of individuals. Okay.
typically now there is an elevated subculture within the culture referred to as Wotanla, and Wotanla oftentimes are, if they're not the leaders, they're revered because they have the ability to manufacture technology that is empowered. They make those weapons that you hear about that sparkle with electricity or burn with flame or have a redundancy in their protective ability and things like that. So they oftentimes have either an elevated position or a revered position where they stand apart, but they don't always take the lead. So again, it's a very collective mindset with them. However, you will find someone that will speak to you typically if you go in there and make yourself known as well.
I think I'm going to push past the troop to make myself known within the group.
Okay. So you lead everyone towards that camp. And as you enter, there are a few trees standing. There are also numerous stumps around. There are, as I said, there's stacks of lumber. There are piles of rocks that looks like they've been digging in the ground. There's just a lot of activity that is uncommon to them. After some few minutes looking around, you're just approached by one of the Wotan. The individual is tall and wears nothing but a greenish-blue sash across their mostly wooden frame. In addition to the sash, the wears a bronze half mask headed in the upper face of their wooden head. Two round, pupilless, and weathered bronze discs stare eerily from the set sockets, giving the figure a stern expression on its static dodge. Let me show you players in our BTT this individual as they approach you. You look and roll 20. I can tell. My internet is slow.
guess while we're pushing
That.
oh, nice.
Oh, you see it now?
Yeah.
'Cause
I see it on the stream, I think. Yeah, I see it on the
On
okay,
the stream. Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wonderful.
Okay. I guess before approaching, I kind of look to everyone else and I go take an account of your things and figure out what you may or may not need. We want to come in here with an intent. They're busy.
Sure.
Might be good to ask if they've also encountered any dangers recently in the area, so we know what to be prepared for.
Good. The plank maker, is I assume he's buy like a set of lumber.
There is lumber. So another thing to know about the Wotan, and this one actually has not had a chance to introduce themselves, but when they identify themselves to external cultures, they do it with a moniker. In this case, this one refers to themselves as plank maker. They do not refer to themselves by that name. It is something that they only share external, so that those of you not familiar with their culture have a way of interacting with them more comfortably. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me continue on. I do not know what is the deal with Roll20 here for me, but we will go on. Yes. 2-round pupilless weather bronze disc stare eerily from the inset sockets, a stern expression. Hello, explorers. You may call this one plank maker. How may this one assuage your distress? Do you need repairs, supplies, shelter?
X to dismiss conversation. Hello, plank maker. We are just traveling through, and we saw all of you at your work. We may need some supplies, but some information may also help too.
Information? What kind of supplies? What sort of information? What are you looking for?
Well, we do have a very long journey, so if there's any assistance with rations, that would be beneficial. But we are also interested if you've encountered any recent dangers within you all.
Plankmaker turns their head a little bit as if they're going to address that. But as you speak with Plankmaker, there's a sudden, unnaturally loud voice that rings down into the valley. Plankmaker goes rigid, and you imagine a grimace crossing their static faceplate and echoing out from the mountain ridge across the way and down over the camp. You hear this voice say, "Time's running out, you shell-slated, crumbled shelfers." And noticing your perplexed expressions, Plankmaker shrugs. "You don't think I mean the things I'm saying, huh? You just keep at it and ignore the demands of Woosham." And it echoes across. And as you scan the rising cliffs of the mountainside, your eyes catch an unusual sight. A large stone horn made of some kind of black granite, the wide mouth pointing from the ledge and toward the valley. The horn seems affixed to a wheeled frame drawn by a large beast of some sort, though the details are nearly impossible to make out. At the speaking end of the horn sits a tiny figure at this distance, seated on a sort of chair. It seems the voice comes from this individual. Other small humanoids scurry across the ground at the base of the horn. "This is the last warning, you chalk-filtering geyser blasters! Woosham has spoken!" And with that, the beast turns away, apparently led by the figures on the ground, and the massive horn retreats from the ledge. and out of sight. And Plankmaker didn't even turn in that direction or anything, just kept facing you and seems, as best you can tell, to be a bit uncomfortable by that.
Who
Where's
was
that
The
that?
neighbor.
Well, yeah, it's someone fancies themselves Woosham. We've been complaining a lot since we've been here that we don't belong here and that this is not land that we're harvesting from. It seems that one believes these are trespassing and so continue to threaten this one and these with all manner of strange insults. Yet this one and these see no threat of trespass. The lands belong to none or no one. And the tower requires what resources this one, these, and these may acquire. Plankmaker shrugs again. It's a lot of bluster.
What sort of threats does he make?
Oh, they're saying we have to leave or there will be dire consequences, and it uses all sorts of strange terminology. Geyser blaster and shell slated stony what's, whatever they have. I don't understand all the things that they're saying all the time. It's a lot of rabble. I've not seen the horn before. That's
And
new. I can hear them better.
It's just the one individual. He doesn't have any friends with him.
Oh no, there's a lot of them. Something like this one. And the Plankmaker points one of their flat digits to Kaban Moss.
Like me?
Yeah, yes.
Well, that's not like the Lenai at all to be rude like that. I mean, that guy really had a real problem. I guess sorry, though. I mean, I don't know why my people would do that, but I mean, we
Well,
could talk to
trespass.
him if you want us to.
The word is trespass. Well, maybe. It could be dangerous. They just seem to be shouting over the fence, if you understand that sort of.
Well, sometimes it takes an outsider to come in and arbitrate something, and we're really nice. We don't have any problems with people. And I mean, look at this guy, and I point to Melosi, and I'm going, he's got no problem smacking somebody. They get out of line. I mean, we don't want to do that kind of stuff, but sometimes we have to.
When he points at me, or when they point at me, and I would assume like the camera pans over, it's just deadpan, just.
Well, Plankmaker holds up all three fingers and says, no need to suggest any sort of smackery or anything like that's necessary. As I said, it's a lot of bluster. We've been here for 6 days, and they have all of this. Yes.
How much
Then-
longer do you think your work will take?
Oh, could be a few weeks, maybe. Probably not much longer than that to move on. But we may find, we may stay in the area, have holes dug in stone that we're harvesting here, and the trees, and what have you. It's actually be quite a substantial recovery for these. How long are you going to be here?
Oh, I don't know.
Stay with us.
We travel like the blowing of the wind. We just go wherever our adventure takes us. There's much to learn about the world, and we're on a quest to see it all. So
There is much to learn for those like yourselves who wish to do so. But but as far as this one goes, maybe you. What was your name, fellow, little person?
my name, I'm Kaban Moss.
Yes. Oh, I'm Plankmaker.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I heard that already, but it's nice to meet you. I'll reach up a little hand and shake his hand.
And they reach down and What would cause that one to be so outraged?
Well, I mean, and I kind of look around. It doesn't look like you're doing anything to hurt the environment or mess up the ground here in a way that's really bad. I mean, looks like you're trying to get some supplies together. You're trying to make sure things are handled okay. That's the only thing I could really think of. I mean, you didn't. I'm sure you asked for permission to come in here and do all the stuff you're doing. So I don't know why he'd be upset. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. But like you said, it's not like he owns the land.
Had. Oh, exactly. There's no position to be asked.
Yeah.
None. Well, we agree. Oh, so you mentioned supplies, perhaps?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Oh,
They're
good.
my companions.
Suddenly, a shattering explosion rattles the ground, and a plume of black smoke billows skyward a few yards from the left perimeter. So, as you're speaking with Plankmaker to your left, you see this smoke appear, lifting towards the sky. The uncommon shouts of Wotan mingle with distant popping sounds, and then a Wotan runs silently through the camp, ablaze and trailing smoke. Oh, me, says Plankmaker. Maybe they were serious. Let's jump into... Yeah, go ahead.
Do I smell anything in the air?
You smell sulfur and smoke.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Okay, so being that my my tribe and my clan is primarily of the land, I would say, would I be able to recognize that smell with what I'm thinking, and what I'm thinking is large volcanic eruption?
No, this is very localized.
Okay.
It's only a few yards away.
Okay. But I do know that smell of sulfur does resonate with extreme heat.
Yes, the heat and yeah, the natural sort of explosive.
Okay. Do you all smell that?
Yeah.
Doesn't smell good.
It's not a good smell at all. That usually follows with very intense heat. And it's close.
What you do here is shouting. All of a sudden, there's this raucous as voices elevate, and there's a distinct sort of odd timbre to the Wotan versus these more highly active voices of other coming from that area. If you look, you see the Wotan are suddenly engaged as they're grabbing implements and starting to fend off as these other Leni come rushing in and attack, and 4 of them charge you. Let's go into combat order. So what we want to do now is you all get to choose what order you want to be in. And I have a map in Roll20, and that seemed to work. So if you want to look at that, let me show you where you're at. You're coming in from the left side. So if you look at your token character sheets there, you can just drag those onto the map and put them in this area on the left side. If you see where I'm pinging. And here is...
I'm so excited. Okay, this is the first time the Roll20 has worked properly for me. So yeah, let's do this.
Nice.
Wonderful. And let's see. Is that everybody? Yes, that's everybody. Okay. So what I'm going to do is... I think I'm just going to pop these guys on here. And while you all discuss what combat order you want to go in, and then I will collect that from you in just a moment. So the way combat order works is you choose, there are 4 of you, so you get to choose 1, 2, 3, and 4. Slot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So decide who's going first, who goes next, third, and fourth. And then I will determine the combatants. And as soon as I find them...
And of course, or these are, because I know the movement speed is different. Is it by 4? You said it's by 4? Are these 4-inch boxes?
It's 4 feet. Yeah, 4 feet.
Okay,
Yep.
4 feet. Okay.
So my initial thought is that Kaban Moss wanted to actually react and try to go help that Wotan who was actually on fire. But now that I see that there's people coming at us, I'm going to maybe rethink that. I think that maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to assume, but I would think that maybe Melosi probably would be, because he seems to be the most combat-oriented member of the party, so I would assume he'd be the most ready for some sort of attack like this. So I would assume he probably would go first.
Yeah,
To
I
attack.
was thinking the same thing. It was just more so of strategy, because I see those gores over there too, in their little
Oh, the
area.
pen there.
Yeah, and my brain wheels is going, but no, I see what you're saying. That would make more sense.
I think I'd like to go third.
Okay. Sorry, that was in Aussie?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's second?
Sorry, where would I find my token?
On the right
that's
where your
right.
little character
So if
journal
you,
is.
Sorry?
On the right where the character journal is on Roll20.
Oh, thank you. It's been a while since I used Roll20,
Yeah.
so.
You just drag your character over, it'll pop it up. It's a little bit slow, so it might take a second to show, but it's on there.
I see her.
I'm going to do these guys.
Eh.
Can I get the physical attributes of the people who were fighting again? You said that they weren't Wotans.
They-
They were
The Lenai?
They're Lenai. They're Lenai like Kaban Moss.
Yeah.
same size potentially.
Same size, similar, yeah, same body type, same size, and they have different hues, but that same general coloration overlap with the striations and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
And clearly they're not
So-
nearly as good looking as I am, but we won't hold that against them. I mean,
Hmm.
Did we move to the second
yeah, I'll go last.
order?
Yep,
You go last, okay. All right. Let me determine 4 friends. Okay. All right. So Melosi, you were in the hot seat as these figures come running in. Now, a couple of things to understand about distances. Thrown weaponry travels 32 feet. Weapon that uses ammunition travels 64 feet. And a manifestation can be affected from 128 feet away up to. So, and then anything ranged within melee range, which is 4 feet, is an increased difficulty scale, unless you are striking with it, as a melee weapon.
Okay. The specifications of my creature morph. It was what again? It was a certain size until I evolve.
Oh, it is +4 size factor above your IS max, and your IS is
Yeah, it's 8. Okay, cool. I'd like to morph into one of those gores if I could.
Oh. I believe you can, because I believe a gore is a 12.
Okay. So
Let me just double check that for you.
Okay.
Yes, size for 12, so you can do that. You can try.
Okay, I would like to try. So
So it's a manifesting action. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to risk it on 1 die and save 1 action, or do you want to use both your dice for a higher success chance?
I'm gonna risk it on 1 die and save an additional action.
Okay.
Because so that's just 1d4.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh, let's do it.
Let's
It's
roll.
a 4.
Hey.
There it is. All
Okay.
right. So, what does it look like for you? And don't worry about your gear. Your gear sort of gets absorbed into this. What does it look like for you? How does it work when you change your form?
So I think with this one being that it's a beast of burden that like mainly goes on all fours, I think you see Melosi get on all fours, and then all of a sudden just the form just shapes, and I assume it's a little bit bigger, a little bit gruffer, and you see the horn just come straight from out of his face as he comes into this form, and it still has the same scarifications on his body, but now it's on this big Gore's body. And yeah, like he's like you still see the glint of his gold eye, so that's how you know that that's him, and it just forms right there, just Animorph style, just pulls right on up.
Awesome. Okay. Yes.
Perfect. So with that, I can still, so since I only use one of my dice cache, I can use the second one for an attack on this one that's right in front of me.
Yes, let me give you some statistics on that creature.
Okay.
The statistics available to you are your movement speed is the same. Your IS, your injury scale, goes up to 20 for this. So you just gained 12 injury points.
Okay.
In addition
let
to
me go-
that, you have. Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you do
Sorry,
that
I was
before I give
grabbing
you more
my
information.
pen. I was like, "You're about to give me some good stuff. I need to write this down." So, all right, I
Yep,
gained
here
12.
comes the good
I'm
stuff.
with you.
Okay, your IS goes up to 20. Now, something to keep in mind, if your IS goes below your normal max, you will retain those injuries when you come back to form.
Okay.
So be aware of that. All right. You have 1 armor factor from this creature. Your armor factor will absorb the first point of physical injury that you take, and then it's gone. And you have a +2 damage factor when you attack. So what that means is, in addition to what you roll for damage, you add 2 points to it because of your power, how strong you are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So that armor factor, it's +2 to my already armor factor.
It's 1 to your already armor factor. Well, your armor factor that you already have is a physical armor that's covering your body that absorbs when you change. So this is
Right.
just a natural armor factor. You wouldn't double it.
Okay, so it's just 2 in this. Okay, beautiful. Okay, perfect. Anything else?
The +2 to your damage factor. Did you get that?
Got it. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, if we're gonna keep that one in the tank. Yeah, perfect. So I would
All
like
right.
to, if I can, still, to just for its namesake, I'd like to gore the the Leonide that's in front of me.
All right.
Kinda-
Let's look at
kinda
where
just
you're at.
like do one of these and just really toss it back.
Well, let me give you a gore to play with on the map. I know I've got one here. Here it is. So let's see. You are right there. I will put it in front of Plank Maker. They will step back and
Yep, there we are.
let me give you control.
Yeah, I can move it. I got control.
Got it. Okay, sweet. All right. So, but that one, as you enlarge like that, you grow right into its space and can attack it without even moving from where you're at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm going
So
for it right there.
Okay. So you have 1 more die. You can do a 1 die attack and try to get it.
It's a 3.
All right. So you have the body discipline. You can spend 1 primacy point and bump that 3 to a 4 to succeed on that roll.
Yeah, just for getting. Yeah, I'm gonna do it just to kind of get the gist of the gameplay. So yeah, I'll bump it to a 4.
All right, so cross off 1 primacy and smack. You just throw that horn into it and its eyes get real big as all of a sudden you just hulk out in front of it and then ram into it. Give me a 1d4 for injuries and then add 2 for the total.
Oh, that's 3 total. 1 on the die plus the 2.
Okay, got it.
Cool. And that's it right now, unless I wanted to move, technically, right?
You could move, yes.
No, I'm going to stay here. We're going to focus on this little pod of people right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm good.
All right. Awesome. Okay, that takes us then to Arithne.
Okay, seeing these 4 coming, I think Arithne is going to use the sleep effect from the song to try to put, I'm assuming it's just one of them to sleep at this level.
Yeah, there's conveniently spread out just far enough that you couldn't quite,
yeah, I assume
can't quite capture them in that 8-foot square. I didn't actually do that on purpose. It was,
No,
but it was wise not to clump them. So which one are you targeting?
I'm gonna target the one probably closest to me over here.
Got it. All right. Do you want to throw all your dice in on this attack, or are you gonna take your chances on that lower percentage? And don't forget, I get a challenge roll on this, so they do get a chance to resist it.
Okay. We'll just do 1 die to start. So.
Okay, that's right. So as you start to manifest your song, see how it goes.
That's a 3.
Okay, you may bump that with primacy to a 4 to succeed.
Yeah, let's do that. That seems like a great idea.
Okay. All right. Let me try my. Oh, that is a 1. All right. So how does that happen? As you start, do you sing it out, or is it music, or with a voice, or what is your shtick? What's your flair?
I think she incorporates her wind bracers in. She kind of like, when she like gets up in position and she kind of shifts them down and then just kind of rolls her wrists around to create sort of like a low, like soft whistle, and then she adds her voice into like a very like gentle humming song, just to kind of like a comforting sound that just makes you want to just curl up and go to sleep and not do anything violent at the moment.
All right. And as that happens now, this is a point where I will remind the other players in the order that if you were to want to throw in your assist, you will get your dice back by the time it's your turn. So don't forget that tricky little strategy if you ever want to get in on it. However, this one, their eyes roll back and they sway on their feet and conk out, crumpling to the ground. And that would be something that Boss and I think that's Inazi right there would see. Probably everybody may notice that because the creature just falls unconscious on their feet. Wonderful. Is there anything? Oh, so you still have 1 die left, right?
Do
You do. So if you wish to use it, you can, or you can hold it if you want to have it reserved for an assist before your next turn.
I think I'll hold it for an assist just in case.
Okay. And do you want to move?
That wouldn't hurt probably because they're all rushing in. Yeah, I think she's more in a support role, so I think she'll kind of scooch back a bit behind. Is that like a stack of lumber?
It's actually an undersized wagon.
Oh, okay. Well, it's some sort of cover, so she's gonna like duck behind there and pop out as needed.
Yes. And I will mention now that you are behind cover that you technically have an armor factor of 2 behind that cover.
Nice.
So that's a good move. All right. Then that takes us to Inazi because I rolled terribly.
Okay. Do any of these look like more authoritative than the others? Is there like a leader, or are they all the same?
They're all just rushing in, and they've got these wild expressions on their faces, and they look like they're having way too much fun. But there's no sternness among them. It looks like they're just on holiday.
Okay, I am gonna try to charm the one behind the one that is sleeping now.
Okay, so there are a couple of approaches to that. You can charm them just in a sense that you sort of rattle their brain and make them afflicted, which reduces their dice cash. But is there another effect that you want in there, like charm them? How?
I wanted to like get one to convince the others to like stop attacking and like have a conversation with us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and so are you gonna do a 1 die or a 2 die roll?
I'm gonna try 2.
You got it. All right.
Double 4s.
Now, I do get a challenge. Whoa. Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. With double 4s, that doubles your reach to 16 feet if you wish. If you want to try and hit both of them.
Sure.
4, 8, 12, that would give you, and you don't have to even do all 16 feet. You can just do the 12 that it takes to get them right there.
Okay.
All right. So what that means is I get 2 challenge rolls, 1 for each. That's not a success. And that is not a success. So, so you get them to stop in their tracks and look at each other, and that there's confusion on their faces for the moment. And do you want to do? So that was your dice, right? That was both your dice cash.
Yep.
Do you want to move?
I will move slightly back, like by these wood piles, because melee is not my thing.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What can I give them for a? We'll do like, hey. Give them a little token of confusion. Now, everyone bear in mind that when you have successfully manifested an effect like this, a status effect, it lasts until the end of your next turn, unless you use an action to attempt to maintain it and are successful with that. However, because Inazi rolled double 4s, your manifestation lasts 5 minutes without you doing anything else. If you want to take that long or leave it that long, if they do fade on their own, you have to use an action to remove them or dismiss them. Otherwise, they just linger. And there's another thing to know for everyone: friendly fire is a thing, so be careful when you do these things because you can affect your allies as well. So awesome sauce. That's got a legit timer on it. Okay. That takes us then to Kaban Moss.
Okay, so do I see the Wotan that is on fire that was running around?
You're a little quiet for me. Is Kevin quiet?
Yep.
Do you hear me okay? Almost inaudible. That's weird.
Not quite. No, I don't know what happened. Can hear you, but not very clearly.
Weird. We'll check something real quick.
I wonder if your microphone, do you have an external mic? I wonder if it disconnected.
Do I still sound quiet?
Keep talking. There was a little bit of boost there. Keep talking.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that while I was sitting here waiting for my turn, my microphone disconnected like 3 times, and I reconnected it. I assumed it was something with the connection, but
Sounds better now.
I think you're good. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I will. Definitely shouldn't be that. Anyway, so I will look. Do I see that Wotan who is on fire?
Well, I mean, they sort of just cruised through as part of the effect of what was going on.
Okay. That is
by
fine.
the time it comes around to all this with your attention change, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, that is fine. My companions have pretty much got this under control, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But I'm going to move up. Is this over here, right in front of Molosi? Is this Is this like a tree trunk, like a cut down tree, like a tree stump, or?
Can you ping it for me? Oh yeah, right here.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll move
that's
over.
a low tree stump.
I'll move over and I'll climb up on top of that. And I will say, people, fellow Lenai, what is going on? Why are you all doing this? This is not the way. Come on. We're all friends here. And then I want to just
And these two,
see what happens.
no, go ahead.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Okay. As you say that, these two back here are like, yeah, what are we doing? And the other one's like, I don't even remember getting down here. We should probably get these guys to calm down over here. Earl's looking pretty hurt there. And
Earl?
like,
His name is Earl?
yeah.
Yes.
So it sounds like that's what they said.
His name is Earl.
And URL. And they both move over and they're like, oh, really sorry about that. And start to, if I can get this to work, start to help their friend. And we don't really need this effect around anymore because it's on them. And they start to pull their friend back and they're fighting like, Earl's like, Wusham said we have to attack them. And there's more explosions going on and there's stuff happening around you. At the foot of the stump, this one is unconscious. And yeah, so it's a moment of reprieve as they are, the two here are trying to get their friend to back off. The friend who's bleeding and Molosi in gore form is just like, I imagine just stanced up right in front of him. But
Yeah,
all
just
around you,
still
there are
giving
other...
a look like I'm because this one's still crazy for some reason. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the as you're focusing on them, we'll keep in order because we've got manifestations ticking here. Will take us back to Molosi. So Molosi, if you want to keep your form, you would have to maintain it, or you can just let it go and do other things with your actions or whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna let it go because I'm seeing that most of the other of the group they're not attacking. It's just this one, and they're trying to kind of pull him away and tend to him. So I'm gonna drop it and just kind of stand there, but I'm still gonna give that look, like I'm looking dead at all of them with the stone face, like if you move, I will hurt you again.
So your form will change at the end of your turn unless you want to do it prematurely at the cost of one of your dice. Let me know what you want to do about that, and then otherwise you want to hold your.
I'm gonna prematurely do it. I'll spend one of my dice to prematurely do it.
Okay, so one dice out of the dice cache. Yep.
And then back into my normal form. I'm just gonna look at Cabin Boss. Sorry. That's a good name that you picked. And I'm gonna look at them and go, are they fine? Do we need to continue this?
I mean, my people would normally do this, so I mean, they should be okay, right? I mean, I think the girls have it under control. I mean, really persuasive with people.
Are they afflicted?
Yeah, I think that weird creep up on the hill did something to their minds. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. I'm just gonna stand there and I'm gonna hold my other action in case that little one gets free. And if he does, I'm just gonna grab him by the head.
Okay, so okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of just laying at wait because again, if most of them were still hostile, then I would have stayed in my form, then I would continue to keep going. But most of them are not at this moment, and they're trying to prevent the hostile one from doing anything. But I want to stay ready.
Gotcha. Okay. That is totally good. Looking for a file that I didn't realize I did not have open. So that takes us to Arithne. You are in a similar situation where if you want that sleep effect to maintain, you will have to try to keep it going before it fades at the end of your turn. Otherwise, that little creature would wake up.
Yeah, I'm going to try to keep it going because I want to see if I can talk to the other two now that my sister's kind of charmed them. So that is just...
Okay. Are you going to use 1 or 2 dice on that?
Let's do 2. Be safe.
Okay.
And that's a 3 and a 4.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So without any issue, you maintain it for a round.
Great.
And that is the end of your turn unless you want to move.
No, I think I'm going to stay put where I am.
Okay. Got it. And Inazi.
I am not going to drop the charm. I'm going to let that keep going and just try and call out to them and say, you were told by Wushan to come down and create some trouble? You don't have to.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Wisham's the boss. Wisham tells us what to do, and we do it. Woo! And Wisham's got things under control. I just now that we're here, I don't know why. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm a little confused. I guess because I'm here, but I don't know exactly at this point what we're supposed to be doing. So, yeah. Can I help you with something?
I mean, I think as long as you can keep your friend under control and stop attacking these Wotan, that would be great.
And as you look around, there are other attacks going on still. So there's like a little bit of quiet in the storm where you're at, but there's all this other activity going on around you. And they're looking around and they're like, they just seem they're holding on to their buddy who's like snarling and fighting, and they're just trying to piece it together. You know that they're in this current situation.
Are we still in battle order right now?
Yeah, you are with. Yeah, and Nazi, did you want to do anything else at the moment?
I don't think so.
We'll finish the round.
Yeah, I don't know what else I want. There's nothing else that's coming to mind that I want to do. So.
Okay. All right, then, Kabanmas.
All right, forgive me for my technical difficulties. Can you all hear me okay now?
Yeah, actually, your microphone had recovered before, but you're.
Well, that's okay. We'll do it this way. I know this works. But you can hear me. So I missed your description while I was fixing that. So if you could just real quick, what am I seeing? What am I hearing? Are they still attacking us, or they're okay now?
So there's Inazi's having a conversation with 2 of them that are holding one that's like trying to get away and snarling, and they're looking around like they can't piece it all together. They're not, but they're saying, I don't know why we're here. You know, Wusham's the boss. But now and then they're looking at the chaos that's going around them, and they just can't seem to put it all together. And then there's one still sleeping on the ground at the foot of the stump where you're standing.
Okay.
So in other words, everything seems pretty under control at the moment.
Excellent. I am going to look around. Is there any spots in the camp that, like, there's a fire? There's anything that needs to be quelled that way? Needs to be kind of remedied? Any sort of fires, or something's burning, or there's some sort of damage that's going to immediately threaten somebody?
Yeah, just kind of looking around. There are little rocks floating through the air and crashing into things, and they're Wotan like hammering down on little Leni, and some of the other Leni are standing back, and there's fire, there's ice blasting by, there are little whirlwinds going by. You see a Wotan go whirling past as it gets shoved out of the way with a little cyclone, and there's like pits opening up in the ground, like a Wotan comes charging up and a little pit opens up in the ground, and boink, he goes down into the hole, and
Just a drone scream.
That's it.
So you have your choice of remedy if you wish to do something like that.
So I'm going to, because there's a bunch of stuff flying around, I want to try to do some abilities with my discipline of being able to control the elements. I want to try to affect the air, to try to stop the things floating around, try to make them slow down and make them fall to the ground, or maybe knock them out of the way so they're not going to hit anybody or hurt anybody else.
Okay, so as you turn and you see like a burning rock flying towards you, or not towards you, but through the air, you throw like a wind blast to try to knock it down. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Try to grab it,
you spin
deflect
and
it.
you try to do it. Go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
do,
Yeah, you can do a 1 or 2 die.
I'm going to do both my dice. I want to make sure there's no problems. Or maybe I can split one for one area, one for another area. Maybe if there's a fire, I can use the same wind to blow it down and kind of snuff it out, maybe.
Can I assist
Yeah,
since I didn't use any dice?
You can. First of all, did Kaban Moss roll?
Not yet.
Before you assist, you want to make sure that the roll's worth assisting on, because you take a risk as well, and you don't want to take that risk if it doesn't do anything particular.
Okay.
So tell me again, Kaban Moss,
So I want to basically try.
Right now, you're just trying to knock down like a burning.
Yeah, you know what? I'll make it simple.
Go.
I will just try to affect that one big rock. I will put both dice into it just to make sure it's not going to hurt anybody. I'm going to try to just kind of use the airflow to grab it with invisible hands and drag it out of the air and kind of throw it behind me, using its momentum to make it dodge out of the way so it doesn't hit people. So
Okay, changing the directory and guiding it into the ground, whatever.
Yep. Okay, so both my dice, one is a 3, one is a 1. So that's going to be not very good. But now we're extrapolating the effects based on both of them, or just the single 4 would be what you would need. I mean, how would that work?
Any single 4 is what you're going for, and because you have primacy in the element that you're trying to manipulate, you can spend one of those points and change that 3 to a 4.
Yeah, I will do that then.
Okay.
And so the one
Now,
does one count as a high failure, or no?
Nope, doesn't, because
Okay.
the 4 overrides it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
A 3, a static 3 or a static 2 with the 1 would be a high failure, and that's not what you want on 2 dice.
Yeah.
That's where you risk the reprisal. Now, it's a single level success, but if Inazi wants to, if you want to throw in, Deb, one of your dice, you can try to make it even better if you want to see how that works,
Sure, I'll try. Why not?
just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is just a single die, and primacy does not apply.
Okay, I rolled a 2.
Okay, so what we end up then with, so what happens is all those dice then become part of the pool that Kaban Moss has to work with. A 2, 1, and a 4. The 4 is still a success, so there's no impact, no effect, but you don't lose anything either. You didn't want to roll a 1 on your part. So, all right. So yeah, as you do that, then Kaban Moss, you pull that stone and you throw it into the ground, and it explodes, and you see across the way there's this kind of orange Leni like glares at you with a raised eyebrow and like making eye contact with you about that. And the battle goes on. I'm going to leave the music at a little higher tempo because of all the stuff that's going on. And, but you've got this little crew in front of you that you're now managing. What do you want to do with them as the one is still fighting, but the two have hold of it and they're hanging in there, and your 5-minute window on that, Anazi, is real time. So you've still got like 3 minutes left for it. However, Arithne, you have to decide around now if you're going to maintain your sleep or let it go. And then Kaban Moss, that one's the sleeping at the foot of where you're standing still. So what are y'all doing with all that information?
I personally want to go and engage the orange. You said he's a Leni?
Okay. Leni? Well, you're not sure if it's a Leni or a Leni because you haven't seen anything else. Yeah.
Okay. I want to engage him, but I'm far enough away. I can do it from here. So maybe we'll have a little Leni, elemental duel.
Yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everybody else's what everybody else wants to do, since that's a turn order kind of thing, and see if we need to maintain the turn order for everyone or just you. Let's go down the line though. Melosi, what did you want to do? Anything with your intimidating stare?
Yeah, I wanted to continue to intimidate to the point to where I want to direct it to the two that are charmed and they're pulling away the one that's bleeding. And I kind of want to to do a cut the head off of the snake moment. That's why I'd asked that question before. And I want to look at him and I go, you go to your master and you tell them to quit being a coward. And they can come down here and they can face the fists of the Yalnuk personally.
And they look at each other. Give me, what I'm going to take here is a called roll mind to try and intimidate them. And I'm going to give them challenge rolls on it. But what that means is, all it means is you can roll 2 dice, but you cannot use primacy because you don't have it in mind.
I don't have mind.
In fact, that's the one discipline you don't have access to.
The enhanced body feature that I have, is that something that I could use to make myself look or seem bigger to increase the chances of intimidation? Whether it's to take a die from them or to add a die from me, if that's possible in this moment.
You can't take any dice away. What I'll say is we'll decrease the difficulty scale.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
So all you have to, yeah.
Okay.
So you still can't use primacy because you're ultimately trying to affect them psychologically, but they also don't have primacy in mind, so it doesn't help them anyway. But you only have to roll a 3 or a 4 in order to be successful, and you can roll, and it's a called roll, so you can use 2 dice.
Okay.
For free.
Oh, that's 2 3s.
Nice. Okay. So you're enhancing your body. That's a manifestation. 2 3s also gives you recovery. So if you want to look at that recovery list on the back of your character sheet, page 2, you can increase your armor factor by 1. You can restore spent primacy. You can restore a lost IS. You can remove pediment, or new rule, you can temporarily gain support. There's one there that you think would benefit you in the next turn and a half.
I'm going to recover my primacy since I did use it.
I rolled a 4 for one of them. If you wish to influence that, actually, you know what? They're going to succeed no matter what. Even though your difficulty skill is different, they still succeeded on their challenge roll. So one of them isn't so intimidated, the other one completely is. So you still get your recovery, and you successfully intimidated one of them.
Okay. And I guess being that I know that, I'm going to like heavily direct it at that one. Like noticing the other one isn't just really giving me the time of day on this one. I'm definitely gonna just keep it on that one and go, you go get them now. And then with that, like my shoulders get bigger. And like for some reason it's kind of like the shadow behind me gets longer, as it seems as though that I am towering all over like this already very small creature. And that's it. That's all I say. Like outside of what I said, you go get them now.
And so the one that you're really focusing on doesn't even pull their eyes away from you, as the other one's looking at him like, like what? But the one that you're on is just like petrified for a moment. And let's go to the sisters. Since you both got your manifestations going on, what are you doing with this control situation you've got?
So my concern is if I drop the sleep, that one is right next to Captain Moss.
They're very close by. Yep.
I'm gonna try to maintain it still.
Okay. 1 or 2 dice.
Let's do 2.
Okay.
That's a 3 and a 2.
So you can bump the 3 to a 4 with primacy.
Primacy, sure. For the sake of teammates. Use another primacy to do that.
All right. Very good. Okay. And you roll both dice. Do you want to move, or are you good where you're at?
Still good with my
Yeah.
cover. I'm just gonna enjoy that armor while I have it.
Nice.
Anazi, you've got these two, and one of them has really put their attention on to Melosi, but you know that they're under your effect as well.
Can
What are you
I
doing with that?
kind of pile on to what Melosi was trying to do and use the charm to convince them to either go or to go back to Wushan and say, hey, we're not gonna do this anymore?
Yeah, you can be the good cop if you wish.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you say to them?
Listen, we just don't want to fight you. And this is all silly. And you don't seem like you know what you're doing here. So you can just go home, or you can go back to Wushan and I don't know what he's going to tell you. He's probably going to yell at you. I don't know. That's not my business. But like, if you could just leave us alone, that would be great.
Yeah, they're like, well, I mean, it's really reasonable. Your other friend over there is pretty intimidating. I don't know about that. That's
Scary,
not very cool.
yeah.
And
Dust
the one
cloud
that's
comes
not
out of my
intimidating,
nose.
But the other one's like, and they're pulling in. The one's snarling. It's like, they're like, "Fuck you, leave me alone, let go of me," and trying to pull away, and they're not letting them go. And meanwhile, the other one's over here sleeping, and they seem to have forgotten all about their friend. And as they pull away, and this din is going on around you, we're going to take a break and come back and see what the rest of the situation is. So thanks everyone for hanging in there with us. That was a quick half of the show already.
Bye-bye.
Thank goodness the technology is cooperating a little bit, but yeah, we'll take a break and we will come back for the second half of tonight. So stay tuned. And we're back. Hey, so a little bit more technical difficulties. If the sound's a little bit different, I apologize. I'm on a different microphone, but we're going to power forward and get back to the situation. As the party has been engaged with this Lenai attack, they came swarming down off the mountainside and down into the camp and started attacking. There's explosions going off. There's fires going around. There's hailstorms and sleet and wind blasts and all kinds of stuff going on. But our group was able to bring their opponents into control. These names, Arithi and Inazi, were able to subdue most of the attackers that the group was facing off against and convince them, except for the one that's asleep still, to head back to the hills. As the Lenai that you were talking to are pulling away, all of a sudden there's a shout and you can see other Lenai just running off. They're running out of the camp as leaping into the camp on these large they're like bird mammalians. They've got a long neck with a serrated beak and a side eyes like a predator. No, actually, I don't know. Anyway, they've got these big, dumb eyes on their faces, these big serrated beaks. They come loping in on these long, taloned forelimbs, and they have these massive back legs that have these large mammalian haunches. And as they run in, they leap in the air and land in the midst of the camp, scattering materials, and they're being ridden by a mix of Lamplak, Asgal, Kakuts. Kakuts are an animal type culture. They're generally sort of vaguely beast humanoids. And then in their subculture, they also have avians and piscine type people. But these are the bestial types, and they're all riding these bird-like creatures that stand up and crane their necks, and they've got harnesses and things like that. And as the Lenai head for the hills, they lope out after them and chase them away, bringing a sense of calm now back to the camp. And as things settle down and the combat eases, you do have that one sleeping Lenai. What do you want to do with him?
What's going on? Can we wake him up? Maybe ask him what's happening or what?
I'm gonna let him wake up now and see.
I'm tying him up to a log.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you tie him up and restrain him against this log, and they come to, and they're just looking around, and they're like, "Hey, did we win?" And like you wave, but they can't move their arms, Kabamast, and so they just give you a little gleeful acknowledgement as best they can as you wave.
So, Anazi, do you want to work your wiles on this guy, find out what is going on? You're the most charismatic of us. I mean, clearly.
I can try.
Yeah.
We didn't get a whole lot out of the other guys, but I could try.
I'm sitting in front of him, crisscross Indian style, just right in front of him like this. Just.
And I'm still on the stump. I cross my arms too.
Yeah. Actually, if I could, and you let me know, can send his key. I'd like to put you on my shoulder, and the both of us are standing or sitting there, just like this.
So I guess I look at this little. He's a Lenai? And what's your name, friend?
Sticker.
Sticker. That's a great name. I really like it.
Yeah.
Can you
It is a
tell
good
us
name.
why you were attacking this camp?
Yeah, Wushim said attack him. And
Why?
so we did, because it's so much fun. Did you see? Like there was.
I could tell
missed
you
it.
were having fun. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Wushim said that they're not supposed to be here, so they weren't listening, And Wusham said, everybody, I want you to get him, or something like that. And so we did. We came running down. But what happened? Did we get him?
Maybe one or two. You didn't get everybody. And the rest of your friends kind of ran away.
No. Wusham's not going to like it.
Probably not. Do you know what else he wants other than the Wotan to stop harvesting?
He wants him to go away.
That's it?
Well, they're pretty close to our, this is an important area up on the hill for us.
Oh, tell me about it.
Well, let me remember, because I don't remember what I know and what I think I remember, because I get confused about when I was alive before and now, and then what I was told. But I think in the way beginning, they call it the emergence. Have you heard of that? On the day that some of us emerged? Yeah. A long time ago, then that's where we were from, here on that day. Well, not here, but up there. Up over there.
Up over there.
Yeah. And so Wusham says that the Wotan are a bunch of stumper splinters that are always taking everything and getting too close. And so didn't want them around here anymore. So we got to come down and blast them.
What about your friend who controls the fire?
Which one? Because there's Floosh and there's Ember Snapper.
Let me tell you what.
There's a lot of them.
Melosi, put me down a second. Go ahead, put me down. I'll strut up to the guy. Let me tell you something. We're in charge now, and you're going to tell us everything we want to hear, okay?
Did you lose? Because you don't seem like you're having any fun. I don't even recognize
all the fun.
you. What's your name?
You know what, Sticker? If that's your real name, I'm the one who's asking the questions here. Me and her. Hey, don't even get me started on her. And I'll point to Arithne. She can do things, man.
First.
If I could, because I'm still sitting in front of him, I'd like to reach over, just kind of do one of these, and put my hand right on the top of their head. And I'd like to go, Sticker, how did you earn your name?
Well, when Lena's born, the first thing that we do is they say, what did you see or what did you hear? And we say, well, it's the first thing we see or hear. And I had a sticker on my butt and I was like, a sticker. And they're like, that's your name. And I said, yay. And it stuck.
Sticker, would you like to earn a new name?
No, Sticker's my name. I'll wait for my next life for a new name.
You know what they're saying is pretty true. None of you want to know what a Kaban Moss is. Trust me.
We'll talk about that later. Sticker, you have one opportunity here, and I start squeezing. So what I'd like for you to do, and this is probably like the most civil Melosi will probably be. What I'd like for you to do is I would like for you to, in the greatest detail, let us know what's going on the other side of over there. And I'm going to slightly start to squeeze on their head.
Okay, you don't have to do that. You don't have to.
I'll release.
Okay. So, I think it was about 10 years ago. And I woke up and a sticker in my bum. And I said, what's your name? And I said, Sticker. And they said, okay. So,
Sticker. No. Tell us what's happening now over there.
I don't know. I'm here.
Since the Wotan started digging and harvesting here 6 days ago, what has been happening over there in those 6 days?
Okay. So, Wusham has a lot of bonfires. And so we get around the bonfire and Wusham stomps around and complains all the time
Mm.
from the end of the darkening until the darkening, and then says, "This won't stand. This is ridiculous." And Wusham hasn't come down here and even had a talk with him because we have a big horn that we built that Wusham could talk into, and it makes his oops, I can't do that. It makes his voice go really loud in the
We
valley, and yeah, that's so. It's a lot of bonfires.
Sticker, it seems Wusham's problem is that he doesn't want the Wotan harvesting at the hill. Is that correct?
Pretty much, it's too close.
Too close to
So-
what?
Way back when, long time ago, in the remember the emergence thing.
Mm.
This is where up there is where we started. All of, even you who won't tell me your name. And so this is home, and it's the first home ever of us.
So it's very sacred to you. Why did
Yeah,
Wusham
it's-
not convey that to the Wotan and just say, hey, just so you know, don't harvest beyond this point and we won't have a problem?
I don't know. Wusham doesn't play. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that.
Mm.
But Wusham's the boss.
I stand up, I untie Sticker, and my face softens, and I look to everyone else and I go, I'm not in the mission to prevent somebody from fighting for their home.
No.
Sticker, if you can tell Wusham to come down here and speak to us, I'm sure that we can figure something out.
Wusham pats your kneecap and says, "Okay, thanks for not squishing my head."
I'm
And-
sorry about that.
Go and tell him,
So we're just gonna let him go? Let them go?
"Hey, you can come with us. At least you should know better."
It sounds like this whole thing, and this is like very difficult for Melosi because it's just very like it touches, because that's what he's doing too, right? The only reason why he's out here is to strengthen his home, and so it kind of just sounds like they're doing the same thing, but they could just be a bit better at it. It sounds like they're just concerned that they're going to lose what's theirs.
Perhaps we can convey that to the plank maker, what the misunderstanding has been and the concern has been, and maybe they'll listen. I don't know. They kind of attacked them. They might be a little mad this time. A little harder to have that conversation now.
So we're just gonna let them go?
No, we're going to let them go to tell Wusham to come here.
Oh, good. That's really exhausting acting really mean like that.
You're really
Wow.
good at it, though.
I think I'm lightheaded.
What,
Yeah,
what did you say,
down on the
Sticker?
stump.
No.
What?
Do you think
What?
you can convince Wusham to come down here and speak?
No, but I'll go tell him what you said.
Shall we come with you? You know what?
I don't know.
We
I
are
don't
going to
know.
go with you. Lead the way.
Hmm,
Case in
Okay.
point, Seer, if I may,
Yeah.
would I know that this is the place of the origin of the Lenai? As Sticker says?
Probably. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give a little bit of back history here so everybody
Okay.
understands what we're dealing with. In the world, there are areas where each of the cultures are from originally. So on the day of manifestation, on the day of the emergence, those cultures that didn't exist prior emerged in one specific area. And then over the 100 years, they dispersed throughout and intermingled in some of the larger settlements and moved all around and things like that. But those areas are still central to their origin. The question for Kaban Moss is, did you, in your latest iteration, your latest incarnation, where exactly are you from? So this is sort of, backstory stuff.
Mhm.
If you're from probably anywhere within 100 miles of this area, you know for sure that this is, the origin location. If you're from far away, another part of the world, the garden, you may not necessarily know that you're that close.
Gotcha.
Let's
I
have,
think.
you do, let's have you do a call roll lore. Let's see what you know.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'll use 2 because why
Yeah,
not?
so call rolls are always 2, and
Okay.
then the lore part is if you have the discipline, you can use primacy.
Right, and I do not. I just have element. Okay. So that's 2 and a 3, which I can't boost with primacy because I'm not trained in that. Correct.
Right. So what we'll give you there is, you're not from this location, so
Sure.
it seems plausible, and maybe there's an echo in your memory that Sticker is telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a whole lot of reason to not believe them, because why do they care? They're not. He doesn't seem to have anything to lie about as far as that goes, but you just don't know for sure.
Sure. Okay. So I think when Sticker says that, Kaban Moss looks out towards where the figure on with the horn came from, and there's a feeling of deja vu as he looks over there, like he recognizes it, but he doesn't at the same time, and just kind of shrugs it off and just looks back to his companions, little stoic.
Right. And Sticker says, well, it's if you want to go over there, then we can go. Or otherwise I can just tell Woosham what you said.
Should we
what do you
perhaps
think about it? Oh, go ahead.
Should we perhaps let the plank maker know before we go? So at least
That
they're
was
aware
my
of the
thought.
situation before
Yeah.
any retaliation.
Yeah, that was my thought as well.
It's a good thought.
Okay. So as you go looking for Plank Maker, having chased away the Lenai, the riders seem to have gathered to the camp as well, dismounted. And their apparent leader is a Landplaque woman, being about 7 feet tall, with a thick head of hair. And she approaches as you're all convening, and she's kind of coming in tangential to Plank Maker. Let me give you, let's see if this works. Oh, I know what happened. All right, if you, I think if you look at the screen, you can see an image.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah, and they come walking up. She comes walking up, kind of with Plank and a couple of the an Asgal and a couple of the Kakuts right as well. And you see that they've got very. They don't look like they're completely armored up warrior types. They just look like they're sort of more freewheeling rancher types that, sort of cowboyed into the situation. And as they approach, the woman says, I'm Katara. We're the Vardien, and we heard there was trouble brewing here. What's going on? And Plankmaker looks over at her and says, I'm Plankmaker. And these are our new associates who have just experienced this attack by these Lenai who have come down off the mountain after many days of blustering and throwing quite a fit. And Sticker says, it's Woosham. And Plankmaker's like, yes, that as Woosham is the name, has been established some time before, but they've been harassing us for some time and have threatened to attack, and I didn't think that they actually would, but they did. And you arrived just in time to chase them away. So thank you for that. Vardien, hey. Now, you may not know who the Vardien is, so everybody give me a call roll lore, and I'll tell you what you know.
3 and a 4.
I also got a 3 and a 4.
I got double ones.
Oh no,
Oh no!
Nothing.
Oh.
Head empty.
I got a 2 and a 4.
Okay. So everybody but Arithne knows that the Vardien are kind of land protectors. They're a faction. And Land of Return is sort of the old land plaque meaning for Vardien. And what they do typically is they tear down old constructions, they restore the land to sustainability. They, for a contemporary word, they do a lot of farming, and they're known to have some of the most amazing produce that can be had. They also are pretty protective of the land, and when they got wind that there was this noise going on between the Lenai up on the mountain and some harvesting Wotan, and they rode over to see what was going on, and so they got here in the midst of that battle. And that's who the Vardien are, and Katara seems to be the leader of them. And she's sort of cocky. Melosi, you can see there's a bit of swagger there to her body language. And after Plankmaker explains that a little bit, she says, "We should hunt them down and end this threat."
There's been a failure of communication. It seems like Wusham is not apparently the best at explaining. What we've learned from Sticker here is that the reason for the attack was the Lenai felt threatened because that hill up over there is their sacred home from the emergence. And so when the Wotan started harvesting nearby, they felt threatened, and hence why Wusham was making all the threats for them to leave. They just left that very important part of why they needed to leave out.
Who are you?
Oh, I'm Arithne, and this is my sister Anazi, and this is Kaban Moss and Melosi. We just got here about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, you didn't see us fighting. We were doing really good. It was really impressive, I thought. I mean,
Oh, you had the one that was asleep on the ground.
I did that.
Yeah. Clever. No,
I caught a rock.
Nice. Well done. Well done. Ladies, I like your ensemble. Looking great. Melosi, I'm a Lingoplack family, and it's good to see you here. What's your take on everything that's going on today?
Well, it seems territorial, honestly. And I'm sorry, I'm of the Yonok. It seems territorial. The Lanai over there. It seems like the Wotan are just harvesting, and it's getting onto their homeland. So, as you may already know, with our families, they're just defending where they live.
But it can't be so. I mean, look, this place is burning. You look around,
now it is
drifting across the town.
Yeah, it is now. It wasn't like that when we showed up.
Plankmaker says, "Look, I agree with this one agrees with these new companions, and we don't need to resort to more violence. It's not going to resolve anything, and there's many more of them, I think, perhaps than there are of us as well. I don't see how attacking them, hunting them down, as you say, is going to solve anything. I mean, look," and Plankmaker motions over towards Sticker, and look at that. You can't just hunt them down. That would be appalling. Katara's like, look, we don't have a lot of time to deal with threats, and threats aren't really a good way to go about things. So that's how I feel about it. And a misunderstanding or not, I mean, you can't have this. A plank maker, you said your name is? Look at your place. It's on fire. Planker says, we'll fix it. They didn't destroy everything, and, the animals are still alive. This debate goes on a little while. Katara seems pretty gung-ho about retribution and, action. And you can tell, though, by looking at her, she's sort of feeling her oats. She's a little younger. She's sort of like in charge, and loved riding in to the fray and chasing them off, and just a lot of swagger.
So Katara of the Vardian, I might have an idea of how we could have everything get figured out really quickly, really easily, really painlessly, and it would be really beneficial for all parties, and nobody would really be hurt. Nobody would have to hurt anybody. It would just be the best way to go about it. If you maybe want to hear me out.
Sorry, I liked the way you said Katara of the Vardian, and I didn't hear the rest of what you said. What?
Well, that's understandable. It's a pretty good name. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty good. But here's my idea. I mean, my friends and I were...
Whoa, hold on. Are you together with this other one?
Oh, Sticker?
Yeah.
No. I mean, we're all together, really? I mean, aren't we all together? You, me and my friends, all of us,
That's
and the garden. I mean, we're all really together, aren't we?
On a level.
Right. So I'm kind of together that way, but like, no, I wasn't here hurting people, blowing stuff up and hurting people and stuff.
Bon Moss is part of our troop.
Yes.
They were with us when we came along here. He wasn't a part of the attack.
Oh, you're
Right.
explorers.
Yes. I mean, we could even
I don't know if I like your tone.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Melosi, did you ever think about joining the Vardian?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, that sounds kind of cool to me. I mean, you're all swagger and you all look pretty awesome. I mean, you look really tough, but
Our veggies and fungus.
I eat rocks, but that's something else. So here's my plan, though. If you want to listen to it.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm not gonna invoke your name again and confuse you. Okay, so what I'm gonna say is, here's my plan. My friends and I, okay, which is me, Melosi, Arithne, Anazi, okay, we can go up there. We can have a talk because we're neutral in this. We're not getting attacked. We're not attacking. We're not Vardian. As you said, we're just explorers and we're not that important. So what we can do is we can go over there, okay, and we can just talk with them, see what they're about, because, I'm kind of from this area. And we can come back, let you know what they say. We can be mediators, basically.
Hey, I mean, we could give you. Plankmaker says, "Oh, Katara, I'm sorry."
Use her full title. She likes that.
Katara Vardian of Lango Plaque, right? She says, Katara Lango Plaque of the Vardian. Of course. This is a Wotan camp, not a Vardian camp. So if you would allow me to speak a little bit as you're negotiating for the plan that has to do with my camp, I think I may have some insight here. The first thing that I would say is a negotiation, a parley of sorts, is not a bad idea. If there was need for this hunting, as you mentioned, then we could perhaps elicit these your favor. But this one and these are not inclined for that to be the first order nor the second order. It was only today, after some time, 6 or 7 darkenings, that we had an actual problem like this. So perhaps it's beyond time to have that discussion, and you have little Sticker there to perhaps lead these others to have this conversation and see what this Woosham has to say to them. And it seems a very considerate risk on your part, friend explorers, that the Vardian or the Wotan have to engage in at this particular moment as we reassemble things. And the Vardian are welcome to stay, if you wish, in camp here. And perhaps even we could repair your items or feed you food or whatever you prefer. So, and Sticker
At
says,
the least of it. And I'm sure you'll find this of interest. The Vardian, at the least of it, you'll find out who you're going up against instead of being completely taken by surprise.
So, friends, do you wish to rest some after your fight or eat, or do you need anything that we can provide for you? As you're talking, there's this booming crack that just rocks from the mountainside, and a shudder rumbles through the ground. And shortly thereafter, a great plume of ash and smoke rises from the mountaintop. And Katara says, "They've activated the volcano."
I knew it. I could smell it in the air.
I think Emil will have to wait. Oh,
Well,
Katara of the Vardian, I love your plan for the 4 of us to go up there and to negotiate with them. It was the best plan I've heard today. It's amazing. We will, you know what? We will work under your direct orders. We will go do it right away, and we will make sure it gets carried out to the utmost and best way that the Vardian will appreciate.
I'm not following the orders of any.
I'm not sure that's what I said, but I think
You're right. It's not what you said. It's what you said grandly, with purpose and with gusto. I was very impressed.
I feel like we're making a connection here. What, Moss?
That's close enough for my purposes here. Yep.
I mean, you know what? Hey, Plankmaker, it's your camp, right? Whatever you want to do. And Plankmaker says, "Well, I'm starting to feel like there's a bit of urgency now. Looking there, you see the plume is now visible from the whole entire camp, and there's no panic. Everyone stay calm." And Sticker's like, "I don't know if Woosham's going to wait too much longer."
Okay, should we go then?
Lead the way, Sticker.
With the air above the mountain growing thick with smoke and the Vardian threatening violence, a Wotan sentry arrives and speaks with Plankmaker just off to the side. And Plankmaker turns to you and says, "Someone approaches. Come." And Plankmaker leads you all to the edge of the camp, across from the mountainside, where you see across the open plain a dozen Lenai of various colors standing at the base of a platform where another red Lenai stands with legs apart, hands on hips, and head held high. And Plankmaker says, "It seems we are summoned to a parley."
he actually came off the mountain.
So the platform has not been moved any closer from where it's at, but it is off the mountain, and it is not too far, about a two quarter of a mile outside of the camp. And Plankmaker says, well, Katara, friends, perhaps this is the Wusham that we've heard so much about. You can see what they have to say. Saves you a trip to the mountainside. Sticker's like, hey, I'm gonna just go over there, okay? Is that all right with everyone?
No.
And goes tootling off.
Wait.
Well, and he runs. Takes off running.
Kabamas, why don't you take lead on this, but keep it very simple.
Okay. I understand exactly what you mean. So, Anazi, Arithne, if you would perhaps back me up on this.
Sure thing.
Bon Moss turns, and I want to use my element control, my discipline, to make the air control make my voice sound super loud, like I'm on like a megaphone or something, so it just booms out over everything, so I can be heard for miles from here.
That's definitely not what I meant.
What do you? Well, what do you say?
Great Wushan, we are here to parlay with you. You. We have come to make sure that you are represented fully.
You see him up there on the platform, like looking around, hands still on hips, and then like
I'm doing the same
down,
pose.
And someone hands them a cone, and they hold it up, and they're like, "Hey, who you? Come on over here!" And then, like, goes across the valley. Come here to talk to us.
Okay. And then I'm going to try to use the hair control and turn it so that I glide over there. Like I'll just a couple of inches above the ground, just glide over to where they're at. Hopefully with
Are the rest of
two
you trying to
friends
keep
coming
up?
with me.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, Nazi, let's go.
Is Katara coming with us because Anazi thinks she's the absolute coolest and is trying to swagger just like her?
She is pretty awesome.
Katara's coming along for sure, and so and then the four of you, and Sticker has run up to join the crew, that are gathered at the above the. I think I'm lagging. Am I lagging too bad? Sticker runs up to the base of the platform. And Plankmaker's still just standing there. Doesn't change the pose and waits for you to arrive, which you do in short order.
Mm-hmm.
And as you get closer, across, you see that Plankmaker, eye on you in particular, just keeping eye contact with you. And as you get within reach, Wusham said, "See, I have activated the Kano. What do you think about that?"
I am very impressed. We all are, really. I mean, yeah, it's very big. It's very impressive. But we want to know exactly what the problem is. The Wutan back here, they didn't understand the importance of this place. And so now that they do, we had a conversation with them. We figured it all out. They're willing to just get their business handled very quickly and move right on out of here. There's no need for anybody to have any sort of problems. Is there something else that you might want that would make it easier for this all to just be smoothed out?
I am Wusham, and I said they can't be here. That's it.
But
And Blake
why?
says, oh, yes. Why? These lands here are not anyone's. They don't belong to any of us. As out my rules. I mean it.
I have a
Blake
question.
says, look.
Oh, go ahead. No.
Yes. No, please.
So, if they don't leave, you've activated the volcano, and so everything will be destroyed. So no one has the land.
Let me explain to you. Man, my lag is so bad. Stop snowing up here. Let me explain to you how this works. If I cover the land in magma and rock, it doesn't bother me or us because it's what we do. I'm in total control here right now. The guitar says, that's it. I think you need to handle this my way. Plankmaker says, please. Measured responses. And Wusham is up on that platform. Of course, with Melosi and Katara, you're still same height.
I'm starting to agree with Qatar on this one. Just give her a knowing look like you weren't wrong.
Gives you a little nod. Well, Plankmaker says, Wusham, this one is very pleased to finally have this opportunity to speak. I think it's a misunderstanding. Our intention is not to encroach upon your mountain. We simply want to gather the materials that we need for our purposes. Stuff to all these and this one all need to exist according to the way we see things. And Wusham's like, oh, no. Get out of the way of my mountain, and then everything will be fine.
Wusham, you said that the land doesn't belong to anyone, and now you just claimed the mountain.
No, the mountain absolutely is mine.
So, but the Wotan aren't on the mountain. I think
Too
you're
close.
Well, you can't control that. That seems silly.
Yes, I can, though.
Well,
because I can bring lava to push them out, bury them in burning silver and ruin, an explosion. And he goes, and there's these little puffs of smoke.
well, why don't we do
It's
this?
right.
Why don't we maybe sit down and we draw out a map that would show where exactly the border is, how far out the mountain goes, and maybe the Wotan can just stay out of that area. And if that means they have to move where they're currently at, they can move. And if it doesn't, then, we can just all calm down.
Let's do it this way. Look back there. Wusham points behind you.
I don't look. I'm still looking at him.
Does anybody
I look.
look?
I look, yeah.
Oh, look.
This 16-foot wall of fire just erupts about 120 feet away. You see that? See that wall? There.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big wall of
That's too
fire. It's hard to
close.
miss.
Good. Close. Now, you see beyond it where their buildings and the rock and the lumber stands? You see that? Too close.
Yeah.
There.
Seer, if I could, and I hate to be this guy, but I just feel it in this moment. Although that Katara and I are from different sides of the land block, is there like a base level language or gesture of understanding?
I mean, there's an old black. So the original language for the common shared language is what all the claims are based on. So, for example, Plaquilal Lake is Old Black, and it means good water or good lake. So if you know your old language, and she knows the old language, you could probably communicate it, and it would be more difficult for other people to understand. As far as other gestures and things, those are going to be more faction based, and you're not part of any faction, at least at the end.
Okay. Can I say to her in the old language, just, are you ready? Just to see if she understands me.
Okay. Let's just make sure she totally doesn't understand you. There's a little smile curls, and side eyes you, little nod.
Okay. So while everyone's looking at the at the wall of fire, you would say that Wushum is floating, but they're like eye contact to us. So like to them, it's
Wushum's on a platform,
uh-huh.
and the platform seems to be shouldered by about a dozen other Lemai.
They're shouldered. Okay, so they're pretty much like lifting the platform and okay.
Yeah, kind of
If
old.
I were to do this, and this is me, and this is Wushum, where do our eyes meet? Like, or would you say that we're here?
Probably at, if not a little bit, you're a little bit taller.
I'm a little bit taller. Beautiful.
So you're 6'6". You know what? It's probably pretty even. Yeah, you're probably right spot on.
Pretty even. Okay. Cool. Because I'm completely done with this entire conversation, I'm gonna grab him.
Okay. I would say that you are not standing like up to the platform, but
So not within reach.
you want. Yeah, I mean, you could cross that
Charge
in a
him.
single movement.
I could charge him.
You'd have to charge over though.
Okay, no, I don't want to do that. I thought we were kind of a little bit closer than that. So I'll remove my thought. They're just gonna grab him. Just be like, okay, this is enough. Stop it.
Right. Yeah. No, I get your feeling.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have let you get that close.
Understand.
You know, it's
Yeah.
parley distance. So, yeah.
Okay.
So Wushum says, well, plank maker, you igneous water bucket, what are you going to do? And he goes, well, we're not leaving. I'm sorry to say, Wushum, you shouldn't be so quick to react. And Wushum says, I've made myself as clear as I have to, and I came down the mountain. I delivered my terms in person. You shale shaker. So, if we have nothing else to talk about, then we're done here with this conversation. Plankmaker says, let me go back and speak with the rest of the camp and see what we can do.
What I mean,
And
I gotta be honest, Wusham. I mean, are you? Well, how do I put it? Are you like a leader of all of the Lenai? Are you in charge of the area? Did somebody make you in charge here? I mean, why exactly are you, laying down these laws? I mean, we're people. We don't really need rules like this. We're people who like to have freedom, and why not extend that freedom to other people?
you're such a sedentary slime bake. Of course, I'm the leader. Isn't it obvious?
Nope.
It's I'm Wusham.
Yeah, I'm
I-
Wusham. I'm Kaban. I don't understand why you're the leader, though. I mean, we didn't have a council, or we didn't have a vote, or you didn't arm wrestle somebody, or
You didn't even arm wrestle?
Get him, Kaban, get him.
well, I mean, I didn't. I'm just saying. I mean, what? I mean, who died and left you boss, man? I mean,
Well, that's an interesting question, isn't it, Kaban Moss? Because we've all died and been put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
for all you
answered
know,
your
I'm
own-
for all you know, I'm in charge here,
I don't know because you're not in charge of me.
right? And you're not in charge of me. You're definitely not in
Oh.
charge of these other people. I mean, that's just not
Well,
how it works.
Yeah, up there, I'm in charge, and maybe you're in charge of them.
Well, if you're in charge up there, I mean, they're not on the mountain. What does it matter if they're up there? If you're down here, you're up there. Just, do your thing.
How else can I say it? No.
Was it just you that had the problem, Musham, or did all of your Lenai have the problem with them being too close to the mountain?
It was my decision that they were too close, and my Lenai agree with me.
And these are all your Lenai here with you.
Lenai of the mountain, all in one voice. Yes, Worsham.
How many are there?
About
Seer?
a dozen.
Oh, wow, that's the whole thing. Huh? How many is there of all of us?
About half a dozen, I think. 4, 5, 6.
I mean,
Ah.
I could take 3, like just right off the
Yeah,
bat.
it's almost. Yeah, there's a dozen of them. There's one of you. It's almost an even fight for them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, girls? I don't know how to deal with this guy. He's got a head. I mean, it's hard like a rock. It just doesn't make any sense. He's so stubborn.
It's a sign of a very weak leader to have those that he leads carry them around. I don't know about you, and I'm really just looking at Kaban Moss because, of course, I think you're like kind of standing near me. I don't know about you, but if I was the leader of a group, I wouldn't let that happen. More so if I was a follower of this group, I'm not carrying anybody around. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that does kind of make sense. I mean, a leader's got to lead his people, not be, not have his people. I'm running out of a metaphor, but I think I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, think about it this way: who's stronger in the situation, the one being carried or the one who's carrying someone?
Wow, that's really deep. That's not a trick question, right? That's you're actually
No.
asking. Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, I think, yeah. I mean, he brings up a good point, Wusham.
Who are you speaking about?
Well, look, I don't want to get us off any more on the wrong foot. All I'm saying is that they don't own this land any more than you own the mountain. I mean, you saying that you're in charge of the mountain would be like me saying that, I don't know, I'm in charge of the emergence or something. I mean, wouldn't that be weird? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, and he'll notice that there's in my necklace, there's a spark that gets a little bit brighter for a second when I say that.
But it doesn't make sense because it's nonsense. Kaban Moss. I am responsible for all these Lenai. So, Plank Maker, go away.
Wait,
And Plank
wait,
Maker
wait,
says,
wait.
Everyone.
Wait, before everyone moves, you're responsible for all of them, yes?
Yes.
Okay. I want to pick one out of the crowd and just look at them and go, what has he done for you?
Jum takes care of us and gives us the orders and makes the bonfires and tells us what the topic is that we're talking about at the bonds. And sometimes if we can't remember if this is our memory or someone else's memory, and then explains it to us. So we have, that's a big part of the bonfire too. It's very helpful. And this is a gray, largely gray Lena with the coloration similar to Kaban moss.
How many of you
Wusham
decided that
said-
Wusham was in charge?
Yeah, who voted for this? Because it sounds like Wusham is just
Vote.
bullying you all.
Wusham is nice to us, and the other one's like, yeah, no, well, I was awake already. There's this red one with a lot of gray in their skin. When I woke up, it was already like this, and a lot of the other voices are like, yeah, this is how it was always been.
But nature
Wusham
is
says, you're
changing.
trying to confuse everyone.
Nature is
What's
not
new?
stagnant. Nature evolves. Nature changes. Who's going to be in charge after Wusham?
One of them looks up to the platform and says, Wusham, do we have to worry about that? And Wusham says, oh, Plank Maker, you've selected an odd group to assist you out here. I think you should go back and talk to your camp. Because this isn't getting anywhere that it needs to be, and the volcano is cooking.
Whose fault is that, Wusham?
Seems like
Who
you're the only
Woke
person who
up the
decided
volcano, Wusham.
I know what I'm doing.
You're having a tantrum, Wusham.
I am not. He stamps a foot. There's a sulfur smoke comes up. I'm not. And then double taps, tap tap, and the form starts to turn as the other Lena and I start to move, turn around and go back towards the mountain.
Hey, Wusham, if the volcano erupts and comes down here, we're going to have a problem, okay?
Wusham doesn't completely turn their head, just sort of half turns profile at the shoulder and raises one hand and says, "That's the idea."
You know, I was all about protecting homelands, and I still am. But not him.
No.
Maybe that makes me insensitive, but I have a headache. And I've dealt with children.
Yeah, no, he's not cool. He's not
Man.
being very cool about this.
I tried to employ what you sisters have taught me about patience in this situation, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I have none left.
Mine is a bit tapped. I don't know about Anazi's, but mine is a bit stretched thin.
I think Katara's plan is a great one. We should
Okay.
get him.
Her patience is empty, so.
"Come with me," says Plankmaker. Plankmaker returns you to camp where they ask for your advice. "I do not wish the Lenai harm, but I cannot trust them," they say. "We should kill," says Katara.
I think it's just Wusham that's the problem, not the
It's
whole
not all
group.
of them. Yeah, it seems like it's just Wusham. That's the problem.
I mean, I don't really know if we need to kill anybody. I mean, that's a little extreme. I mean, yeah, he definitely is kind of a beyond the pale here, and he's really being ridiculous. But I don't really think killing him is going to solve a problem.
We could take a hand.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean, would that stop him from setting off the volcano?
We'll take both hands.
I kind of doubly don't really know about that.
Linkmaker puts their hand to the bronze part of their mask and sort of twists their head. We need a wiser solution. I suppose we could just give up and pack up.
Well, I mean, why don't you just do that? I mean, what's making you stay here? I mean, I'm not saying you should go. I mean, I'm just wondering why exactly.
This one and these have a purpose. It's doubly shameful to find such a bounty that we can return to the tower and bring back less than we could. It's shameful.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe we could help you find another place that's got stuff too.
I thought you were on your own path.
Well, that's the thing about paths. You see, sometimes they turn in directions that you're not expecting.
Katara's like, look, 4 hours. I could get a bunch more. We just come up the backside, find that measly little camp, wreck it.
That doesn't consider the volcano problem.
What if we just took Woosham? Just Woosham.
I mean, I don't know. I think we're underestimating their loyalty, you know? This is their homeland above all, right? So I would imagine that there are probably still some up there that are going to be protective of it as well, right? Plankmaker goes, this reminds me of what we would do for the tower. Of course. This one and these would go far out of the way to make sure that no harm came to that until the appropriate time. Katara's like, I don't know. Well, if you don't want to do this our way, we might leave. And Plankmaker's not to be respectful and appreciative, but you rather came unannounced, so we needn't move so hastily according to your ideas based on your assumptions upon your arrival.
Well, I mean, we've got 4 days, right, until anything happens. Is that what he said? 4 days?
I don't know that he gave us a timeline.
No, he didn't. He didn't give a specific timeline on when he was going to do anything.
No, he just said the volcano was cooking.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Playmaker, it's up to you on what you all would like to do.
Indeed. This one doesn't wish to put anyone else in harm's way. And this one must admit to having some dimension of pride associated with this. It's shameful that and this one and these should have to acquiesce to these demands. It's simply not a simple solution. As you're having this discussion, another Wotan sentry approaches and says to you all, these have observed a change. This one should see. And Plankmaker motions for you to follow and lead all back to the edge of the camp again, where you see across the meadow and up the mountainside, lining the entire ridge, is a horde of Leni and dozens of boulders ready to descend onto the valley. Says Katara, Vardien, we're leaving. And with a roar that echoes across the valley, Leni riders charge down the hill astride hulking beasts seemingly made of living rock. their hides coursing with streaks of lava. Alongside the riders stream runners on foot, red, blue, gray, and all shades in between. Let me show you an image of. Oh my goodness! You know what? All my images are. Oh, there it is. You see it? Yeah. Oh, let's try it one more time. There you go.
Oh,
Oh wow.
Roll 20.
oh boy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dinosaur.
As these creatures charge down, Lenai riding on the backs to a beast. And you can see that there is this sort of rock and streaming between the and the hide is like this rivulets of lava, and they come rolling across the plain. And as that happens, I think given the technological issues that I'm having tonight, I'm going to call it there.
Oh, you didn't even give him time to leave.
We should have just shot Wushim while he was there.
Yeah, we should just kill him.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So the second wave, the Lenai descends. We'll pick up there next week, hopefully with less technical issues. And thanks everyone for your patience. Crew, thanks for hanging in there with me on this adventure. Hopefully it wasn't too annoying from my end, but let's hear from you all and what you're doing. Let's start with Ian, and we'll go backwards.
Yeah. So hey again, everybody. I'm Ian on all socials, your boy Big. So yeah, you can find me here on Mayhem Monday for the next 3 sessions. I'm also, you can also find me on Tuesdays on the Black Feather Guild channel playing their Champions of the Fae campaigns, where I play a half-orc barbarian by the name of Marosha. And then Sundays are pretty crazy for me. So coming up in the summer, be part of a actual play podcast called Emergent Code, kind of like a Digimon-esque type deal where I play JP. And also on Sunday evening, I'll be on the Magic RPG channel continuing our Icewind Dale campaign. We're in our season 2 for that. And then also coming up soon, also on Sunday, again, my Sundays will be crazy. I'll be over on Time Lord Wife's channel, playing a homebrew game that she's coming up with. So yeah, if you want to see what I'm doing, just follow me on my Twitter. All my updates will be there.
Nice. Busy. Thank you. Kevin.
Yes, hi, I'm Kevin, and as I mentioned earlier, I am found on the socials at KevRan Games. I am doing several things here on SAG. I'm here tonight playing this. I will also, like Ian, be here for the next 3 weeks playing Kaban Moss. I am also in the Mothership game that's on Sunday. We had a session yesterday that was pretty intense. I play a Marine with a chip on his shoulder and some fun stuff with that. But I'm also the host and the game master of the Game Night Heroes podcast, which is an audio podcast that plays games and we tell stories with doing different stuff. I'm also a cast member of Murder Hobo Inc., where I play in several different campaigns in a post-apocalyptic setting that still uses 5th edition. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I do stuff on Wanderer's Haven, where I play in Star Trek Adventures. We'll be doing that next week. I play the first officer, Bajoran, who has problems with the prophets, which is fun. And yeah, I do all kinds of fun stuff. So, I mean, I could go on and on, but why? This has been a blast. Thank you so much for having me tonight. And technical difficulties will be slain for sure next time as we venture into this. We were really going to make sure this works because this was beautiful. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, let us hope. Deb.
Yeah, I'm Deb. I am just an occasional streamer here on Guild Superior, and it's been really fun to be at the table tonight. What a great first game. I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm not on Twitter, but I am on Instagram at dsweats, and you can see more of the cat that appeared on stream tonight. It's mostly pictures of cats. So yeah, check me out there.
Awesome. Thank you. And Stephanie.
I'm Stephanie. I was playing Arithme. You can find me on Twitter at sbrownwrites or over at the Live from the Apocalypse Discord under the handle Lavenza. I'm just really excited to be back with Guild Superior playing another game here. It's a very cool world we've got. And if you want to see me in another game in several weeks, I will be in a Monster Hearts Regency romance over at Live from the Apocalypse. So I'll have the exact dates soon at some point, but that is coming up in the future.
Fantastic. Thanks again. And I'm really excited, having fun with you all. So you're making a great cast. I'm having fun in, introducing you to this world. Really apologize for issues. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm the lead at Adventure Slang Productions and founder of this game, Nuovarden. You will also, if you wish, see me back here in March on the 15th for a Morkborg special one-shot that I'm running with a special cast. It's sort of a DM Dave's birthday celebration month thing. And I know I can announce that because we mentioned it before elsewhere. Also, stuff coming up in April, TB, and we're all heading to Kubla Khan at the end of May, and Kubla Khan in Burlingame, California at the end of May, RageCon in Reno at the end of June, and who knows what else. If you like what you saw here, it could make it with all the technical stuff, please go over to Adventure Slang Productions or adventureslang.com and give us a follow. We'll send you, when we get them all pulled together, digital thank yous just for the follow. And to keep up with what we're doing, Mr. Ty on Twitter or at Adventure Slang on Twitter if you want to follow us there. Thanks so much, everyone, and hopefully smoother stuff next week, and we'll catch you then. So take care, have a good evening, and we'll see you soon.